Hello, everyone. So let me just introduce again myself. So I am Patricia Paligan. So I am a business analyst here in Digital. So here with me, I am with Nicole Valerio. So she is as well a business analyst at AF Digital, and Mvin Vidola, which is our Salesforce capability lead. So before we start, let's just discuss our agenda. So first, we will have a recap on what we've discussed last week. Then we will discuss what are the Sales Cloud features and the demo. So for our recap, so we've discussed last week what is Salesforce. So Salesforce is a customer relationship management um, platform which we can access anytime and anywhere. Then we've discussed as well what are the Salesforce clouds. So Salesforce clouds have Service Cloud, which is for the customer support management, Marketing Cloud, which can help us personalize our emails with our customers. We have Community Cloud as well, which can help us have a communication with our partners and customers. We have different apps that can help you cater your needs. We also have Commerce Cloud for the we offer this can help you on the customer's shopping experience. We have the Internet of Things which can help which can help companies visualize large amount of data, and as well as Squip, um, which can help in documents management. So next one is the Sales Cloud features. So last week we've discussed as well what is lead management, the account and contact management, and the opportunity management. So we have configured in the back end as well how are we creating the web to lead, how are we scoring leads for them to be able to for the sales rep to be able to see if they are qualified, and how are we handling duplicate records. So for today, for our day two, we will be discussing the account and contact management, the configuration for the account hierarchies, the person accounts, and the account teams. Then we will discuss as well the configurations on how we can do the sales stages, the opportunity teams, the products, price book, quotes, and I added as well here the order and contract. So I know that we didn't have this in our demo, so we will add this the order and contract, and we will discuss the workflows and approvals configuration. Then Nicole will be discussing the mobile and files sync and share. So let's just have a quick recap as well on how did our what is the flow of our demo last week. So we have two persona. We use Patty as the customer and Envin, which is the sales representative. So the first step is Patty, the customer, go to the SF Motors website. Then fill up the contact us as she is trying to request for a quotation. So once after submitting the form, the lead record will be created in Salesforce. An auto response email will be received by Patty. Then the new lead record will be assigned into a queue, um, which is the nearest to the location that Patty entered from her form. So once for example the Alabang dealership received this one, so then Mvin saw that there is a lead record that was assigned into his dealership. It's now he can all he changed the ownership to his name, then started collaborating with or communicating with Patty. So when connection has been established between Patty and Mvin, and he can see that Patty has high chance of converting into a or buying a motorcycle in their company, he did convert Patty to accounts and opportunities. So once it was already converted, we've updated the opportunity record. We added price book, we added products, and generate the quote record. Then after generating the quote record, we submit the quote for approval. So MVIN's manager have to approve the quotation before MVIN can send the quote to the customer. So once approved, then it's time now to generate and send the PDF. Then once Patty already accepted or she agreed into the price and all, then MVIN can now Patty will go back to MVIN to um, tell MVIN that all is good on his end, and she will now buy the item. Then MVIN can now close the opportunity and create an order and contract record. So going back to Salesforce. So here with me, I am on the same opportunity record that we've used last week. So what is missing in here is the creation of the orders and the contract. So before we start, let's just have a explanation or definition of what is order and what is contract. So orders are meant more for business that is close one. So this is used to track customers' requests for products and services. So this means that this is used for the tracking of the items that have had been sold by our company. So in this way, we can generate a report of what are the top selling products that we have or what has been sold for this specific day, month, or year. So, while contract, on the other hand, is a written agreement between parties. So, for example, we've already sold this specific motorcycle to Patty. Then we are offering as well one of the freebies of this package is a 1 year service warranty. So we can create a contract for this one for us to easily see how, where are we on the on the contract. So then for the opportunity, let's not misunderstood the difference of opportunity and orders, as opportunity represents the sales process and help track the sales effort, the wins and losses and the pipeline. So it's different from the orders. All right. So now, going back to Salesforce, we are in the same opportunity record. We will now try to create orders. So right now, we will be creating orders manually. So there is a related list here. We can just easily click new. So then we can just populate this following fields. So creation of orders can be automated. So we just need to create process builder. So later I will show you how we can automate this process. So right now, since contract number is a required field, we first need to create a contract. So if you cannot see a tab here in this drop down, you can click the app launcher and you can just search for this specific um, object. So right now we are in the contracts object. We can now create new contract and select the account name as Patty. Then let's just populate the required fields. So for example, contract was already signed today. And the contract terms for the service that we are offering will be 12 months. So this is like um the warranty of our product. Then once we already have our contract, we'll go back to the to the order that we are creating. Then let's just paste the contract number and select it. Then let's just leave all the fields as is and save the record. So now we already have our product and I mean our order and our contract. We can now add as well the products that Patty purchased. So let's just check. So we have C400 GT. Mm, hmm. So same process like what we've done in opportunity. So we've used the June promo for that one and select the C400 GT product and save. So the order amount reflected as well from here. So those things can be automated once we once for example we want this to automatically created when opportunity is set to close one, so that is possible. So I will give you a sample of that later. All right. So now we have already completed our sample demo process. We'll now go back to the configuration on how did we configure those items. So let's start by going into the um, account hierarchies. So account hierarchies are standard. So these are standard it is a standard field that we just need to populate for us to relate each account that we have. So for example, so as mentioned last week, account hierarchies are not applicable for person accounts. So this is only applicable for other record types like business account. So right now in our account object, we have person account and business account. So let's go to a sample record for person account. So for person account, we have here Patty Palikan. So as we can see in the fields, we cannot the the prime there is no primary account field um, displayed in person account page layout. While if we try to go and search for a business account, for example, EF Digital, we can see that there is a parent account field here in its page layout. So how does it look like when we relate each account to other accounts? So for example, as mentioned last week, we have AF Digital. For example, we have a client which is the main company is AF Digital, and there are different locations under AF Digital. So what we can do is instead of creating each one without any relationship, we will still create those, but we will relate them to AF Digital. So as an example, I've created AF Digital Singapore, AF Digital Philippines, and AF Digital Australia. So once we click AF Digital Australia, we can add the parent account AF Digital from this record. So so for each of the remote location of AF Digital, I added the AF Digital as the parent account. So when we go to the AF Digital account record, we can see here the view account hierarchy button. So we just need to click that one, and we can see the relationship the between each of the accounts. So you can also add if there is different remote locations under Singapore, you can select AF Digital Singapore as the primary. Then all of the child records will be reflected here as well. So let's go to the account object for us to see. So when we go to the account object, there is a separate object that was created when we enabled person accounts. So person accounts can be enabled by raising a case into Salesforce support. And once it is already set up or enabled, this cannot be disabled. But um, when we have person account, we can have as well other accounts. We can handle um, it doesn't mean that if we enabled person account, we can just have person accounts in our Salesforce. No, we can have if we have clients that are companies as well, we can create business accounts, and if we have clients as individual, we can create as well person account as what we I've I've demoed to you earlier. So we have here different record types. So we have person account here and business account. So how are we configuring those in the back end if we want to change anything? So as mentioned earlier, we have here the account, which is here we can see different page layouts. If so page layout, we can assign this into different users. If we want to display different set of fields for a specific user, we can use page layout, so we can assign this by their profile. So right now we can see the account layout, which is the one we are using for business account. So how can we add fields? So we can add fields by going to the page layout, then fields, then we can just easily search from here what is the field that we want to add. So if you tried searching um, for the parent account, we can see here that parent account is available for this account object. But when we go to the person account, so there is a different object for the person account. When we go here in the person account in page layout, we can see that the parent account is not available here. So that means that you cannot enable primary the primary accounts or the parent accounts in person accounts. So next one is the account teams. So how did we enable? So in default, account teams is disabled in your organization. So to enable it, we just need to go back to setup, and here in the quick find, we can search for the account teams. So here, then click account teams. So so I already enabled it. So the options available in here is we can disable the account teams, and we can replace the team roles because we have already existing team roles. So automatically when we enable this one, there are already set up there is already team roles that has been set up. So let's try to click team roles. So for this one, we can add if we have different um, team role for in our organization, we can rename it or we can add a new one. So this is how we can configure the account teams. Then next, we'll now go into the opportunity. So the first one in our opportunity will discuss the sales stages on how did we configure this sales stage. So where can I find these values? So the qualification, proposal, price and quote, negotiation review, and close one. So from the object manager again, we'll go to the opportunity. Then from the opportunity, we'll search for the stage field. So we can see the stage field here and the values of the stage field. So we have the pick list, the opportunity stage pick list values. So this pick list values are active or what we can see on when we are creating opportunity. And we have as well inactive values if we don't want to use stage values anymore. So right now we're using qualification, close until close one, and close loss. So after we configured our stages, we will now go into the path setting. So for us, so path setting is the here we can configure this green path and the guidance for success. So let's go back to the setup page, then search for the path setting. So for the path setting, we can configure here different objects if we want to add paths. So for example, we have a case object. So we can also create path for the cases. So for example, there is the stages of case is new, in progress, or on hold or close. We can add add it here as well. So right now you can see that we already created the opportunity path. So let's try to create another path. All right. So we first add our path name. For example, opportunity again. Then object, we can select what object we want to add this path. Oops, sorry. So let's try another object for now because there is already an active one. So here we have the code. Let's just rename this one. Then select the master because we already have created an opportunity. So we cannot create another path for that. So here the pick list here, this is the field where we will get the stages or the status. So click next after filling up those. Then as we can see here, there are different status in our quote object. So let's just try to see if it's the same. So we have the quote object here, and we can see that there is draft, needs review, and review approve until denied. So these are the same stages that we have here. Then we can add or update fields if we want to. So adding fields will be visible. For example, in our quote, we can add fields from this one, the key fields that, for example, we have for each step we have specific priorities that needs to be filled up. So we will add those fields. We can add this here to make sure that the sales rep um, the sales rep filled up those before moving into the next step. So for this one, let's just try to search fields. For example, we can have the bill to. So we just need to select it, then click this arrow icon, then save. So on the draft stage, there must be a bill to and contact name on our on this stage. So we can add as well guidance for success. So this one is an example. So guidance for success, this is just notes. For example, this one, close date. Once converted, update the close date. Make sure that it is of a future date. So this is just notes for the sales rep on what they need to do in this specific stage. So let's just add update bill to field, then click next. Oh, sorry. back. So for us to have each stage, if we want to add different fields and guidance for success for each stage, we can just click each stages here. So if in review we have to update the discount, yeah. Then once done, we can just click next, and we have the option when user reach a specific step in path, for example, there will be a confetti, like success confetti. Then if we can also choose if we want to activate this path. So right now we will not activate it for now. This but yeah, this is the exact steps on how we can create that path. All right. So next. Just let me know if there are any questions. All right. So next in the opportunity is we can set up as well the opportunity teams. So here we have this opportunity team. So this is same with the account team. So if there are specific group of people who needs to work for this opportunity, so with opportunity teams, other users can have access for this opportunity. So this depends on how you want to set up. So for example, this opportunity record must be only visible for the owner, for the opportunity owner. So in this way, if we add opportunity members, then we can have access as well for other users to see this opportunity. So going back, it's the configuration of this is just same, almost the same with account teams. We just need to go to the setup page, then search for the opportunity teams. So this one I already enabled the opportunity teams here. So the option is now the only option for now is disabled. Then we can set up as well contact roles. So this is different for the opportunity teams. So if we have, for example, in this specific opportunity, we are communicating with different employees for a specific company. For example, our client is EF Digital, and in EF Digital we are communicating with the IT manager or the business analyst. So we can add so those users are added as contacts, and we can add those contact roles in the opportunity for us to know who are we communicating to. So we can set up it here in the opportunity contact role. So that's how we can set up the opportunity teams and opportunity contact roles. Then next one is the products. So for the products, I've used this standard product configuration of Salesforce. So what I just added is because for example, the products that we are offering have different classification. For example, others are used for adventure, others are used for racing. So we can have a classification of our products by adding a product family. So how are we configuring product family? So let's go to the object manager, then proceed to search the product object. Then in the product object, we can see the product family field here. Then we just need to add the values or the classification that we have. So in this example, I've added sport, tour, adventure, heritage, roadster, urban mobility. Then Say for example, we will add another value. So let's add another value. For example, we have a new category of our product, which is cruiser. So let's just add this one. Then now we have our cruiser product family. We can now proceed creating a product. So how are we creating product? Let's go with product object. So here there is an available product tab. So these are all the available products that we currently have. So we can create the all products here. So if we are offering different services, we can add those here as well. Then if we want just to filter out what records we want to display, we can create a list view. So in list view, we can filter what records we want to display. So in this case, I'll just quickly show you how can we uh, create or edit the list view. So we can select what fields we want to display. So in right now the fields are product name, product code, description, and product family. So we can add another field. For example, we can add active field for us to see if this product is active. So here it is added. Then if we want another filter for this list view, we can just so right now what we can see here is um the the products that are with this product family only. So we cannot see other product records because we are filtering it that the product family must be sports, tour, adventure, until urban mobility. So now we will try to create a new product. So for example, the new product name is C300R. Then let's make it active. Then product code, let's just leave it as blank. Then we must see here the product family that we've added earlier. So cruiser, then save. So we now have our product. Then let's check in the product related list if we can see this specific product. So right now, the C300R is not available because the product family is not added here in the filter. So we need to add the cruiser product family here, then done, then save, then it will automatically refresh and yeah, it will display the C300R. So that is how we can filter our list view. We can also have a sharing setting so that we can limit if you want to create a list view for yourself, for all the user, or you want to share it with a specific group of users. All right. So now we already have our product and it's now visible in our SF Motors Motorrad list view. We now need to create a price book for this one. So on the related product, so we have to create price book so that it can there is an assigned price for this specific product. So add standard price. So this will be the first option. So this standard price, for example, is 450,000. Then just save. If we want to add another price book, for example, we want to have we I configured here June and July promo. So we can add a June promo for what is the price of this product during or on this June promo price book. So currency will be PHP. Then the list price will be different because there is a promotion. For example, the price is just 420,000 and save. So now we already have our price book for standard price book with which is for the word from the word itself, the standard price of this product, and we can have price for the June promotion. So we can add as well July or other promotions once we set up our price books. So that's it for products and price books. Then we'll now proceed with the quotes. So on the quotes, going back into the opportunity, let's go to the quote record. So we can see that we created this quote, then there is a PDF available here. So what we will do now is we will try to update this template. So how can we update this? We just need to go into the setup again, then search for the quote templates. Then we can see here, we can create different templates for our quotes. So when we create different templates, when we generate our quote, we can select what is the template that we want to use. So in this case, we'll just use the standard template for now and click edit. Then for example, we are already good with these fields, so we can add these fields as well. So these fields comes from the quote object, so we can add as well fields from the accounts, opportunities. We can add details that is coming from different objects, contacts, so organization and user. So in this case, we will not add any field, but we just need to add a image header for we will add the SF Motors logo. So what we need to do is just add a text or image field here, drag it in this section, in the header section, then click OK. So this will lead us to this text button or field. Then we can just click the image here and choose file. So for example, we will use the SF Motors file. So this one, then click insert. So we can see that it will be added here. Then let's just zoom out and then click OK. So then once we are already done updating the template, we can just click save. So that's how we can add um, or update the code template. So once we try creating another PDF file, we must see here the image. So it's not yet aligned yet because the image is bigger in size. So yep, that's how we will create quotes. So now we are done with the sales stages, the teams, products, price books, and quotes. We'll now go into the order and contract. So for the order and contract, we have a related list here that we created manually in the creation of order. So another option is we can create the orders automated by for example we've um, the opportunity status is stage change to close one. So when it's close one, there must be a automated order that is already created. So let's try that one. So we can create a process builder for that. So in process builder, we can click new. Then for example, create an order. Then the process starts when a record changes, then save. So we can just add the object that we want. This object is um, the trigger object. So what we will use is the opportunity. So then we will choose what start the process. So we have the option when the record is created or when the record is created or edited. So in this case, we'll select created or edited, then save. Then we can add a criteria so that this process builder will just trigger every time the op status is close one. So the condition will search for the field. So field is stage, then status is close one, then save. So every time opportunity is close one, we will now create the action. So the action is we will create an order record. So create order, then record type. Let's search for the order. And what will be the value of the following fields. So the order status, we can add a formula of we can have the today's date. So after the opportunity has been closed one, we can the order start date that will be created will be today. Then status will be draft, and account ID, we can use the account ID of the opportunity that we are working on, opportunity ID. Then we can add as well, now we will add the opportunity so we can relate this order on this specific opportunity. So field reference, opportunity ID. Sorry, this one is account. So let's search for the account ID. Okay, so now that we have already set up our actions, let's now save and activate. So there. Now, let's try to search for an existing opportunity record. For example, John Smith, the status is in negotiation and review. So there is no orders as of the moment. Then, for example, we need now to close this opportunity and change this to close one. We will now set to close one and save. So once saved, there must be an order being created. So there is two orders that is being created because we have two active PBs that does the same thing. So we just need to deactivate the second one so that it will not trigger it will not create two records. So now we already have our orders. So we can add different actions as well if we want to create contracts, or we want to add field mappings here. So yep. Then for the last item, be discussing the approval rules. So in this opportunity, let's go back to this opportunity. We have set up the approval rules for our quotes, right? So how are we setting up this approval rules? So going back to set up, let's just search for approval rules, approval processes. Then in approval processes, we can manage different approval for different objects. So in this case, we will try to create an approval rule, for example, in our opportunity. So let's select the opportunity object. Then we can use jump start wizard or standard setup wizard. So the difference is just standard wizard is the steps to step process, while the use jump standard wizard is basically one page process. So this is the layout of this jump standard wizard. And with this, we need if we need to set up other items as well, we might miss this if we use the jump wizard. While if we use use standard setup. Um, we will have 6 steps before we create the approval process. So for example, of approval, the process builder, the approval process name. If we want to specify criteria, so if we want to specify criteria, for example, those amounts that is greater than 500,000 will be the only records that can enter this approval. So in this case, we will set all the opportunities must enter this process. Then we can have who will be the approver. So we can next automated approver determined by we will use manager for now. So for example, the sales rep is MVIN, then his manager will be the one who will approve or reject that specific opportunity. Then record editability properties, only admin can edit the record once it is on the when once it is already on the approval process. For example, it is already submitted, then only system admin can edit it. Or the other option is admin or the currently assigned approver can edit or during the approval process. So when we submit the record for approval, the record will be locked. So it will be no one, other users except for system admin cannot edit the record. So we have the option here if we want the admin or the assigned approver as well to have access. So in this case, we'll just remain it as the admin only. Then we can add an approval assignment email template. So for example, we submitted this one for approval, then the manager of MVIN will receive a notification on his email that, hey, there is an approval assigned to you. So we can create an email template for this one. So I've created one. So approval notification email template. We can use this for now and select next. So approval that this field or this page will discuss what are the fields that you want to display on the approval layout. So this is a sample approval layout. These are the fields that you want to add. So if you want on the owner, the amount, the status, and the description or others. So we will select this from here. So for example, created date, contract, and so then we can also have the option to display approval history information. So approval history information is this one. So we so I'll add the approval history for us to see if for us to easily see the status of it, if it's approved or reject or still pending. Then security setting, allow approvers to access the approval page only on the Salesforce application. So we'll select the recommended one for now and click next. Then for the initial submitters, so who can submit the opportunity? So now we will just select the opportunity owner. So the opportunity owner are the only one who can submit their opportunity. Then add the submit for approval button and approval history related list on the opportunity page layout. So we will tick this one so that there will be a button available already on our layout. Then allow submitters to recall approval requests. So if you accidentally, for example, submitted the opportunity, then you miss a field that must be populated. This option will allow users to recall or to recall the approval request. Then once recalled, the sales rep can now have access to edit again the page. Then save. Then so what would you like to do now? You have the option to create an approval step, but let's proceed and do this later. Then go. So now we already have our up approval here. So what we need to do is these are the initial submission actions. So initial submission action is what will happen once the opportunity has been submitted. So what will happen right now is we can lock the record from being edited. So this record cannot be edited, and we can add as well a for example field update. If for example MVIN submitted this one for approval, we can update the quote stage to, for example, from new to in review. So let's try adding one. So set status to in review. Then let's select the field. So now we will use the stage field. I so we now need to define the specific value. So in opportunity we only have this following pick list values. So once the opportunity has been submitted from qualification or proposal stage, it will automatically update to negotiation or review status, then save. So there. Then we can also add approval steps if we have levels of approvals. For example, we have level 1 approval, then under that manager approval there is another set of approval needed. So we can add this approval in the approval step as well. Then the final approval action, what we want to do if the opportunity has been already approved. So we will still lock the record from being edited, and we can add as well a field update or email alert. So this email alert approve notification. So in this case, MVIN, the opportunity owner, will be notified every time the opportunity that he owned is approved. So this one, another email template that we will use, approve notification email. So we can add the recipient type if who will receive this this email. So let's put the owner, the opportunity owner, um, then save. So we can add, if we want to be notified the managers or other users, we can add it from there. Then there we go. We can add email alert. Then we can add the field update as well. So once it is already approved, then it will move to the next stage. Then same with the final rejection. And for the recall action, this is the one that we've set up earlier. So once it is being submitted, the record will be locked. Then when it is recalled, the action will be the record will be unlocked. So I think
Okay, Pat, so just some
yes.
practical applications of the different approval steps. What usually happens is when sometimes if you're working on certain opportunity sizes, but if it's more than $1 million, it goes up all the way up to your executive board. If not, then it probably the territory manager or the regional sales manager is ready enough. Another is when you're giving discounts. Those are some of the usual use cases. So you can a sales agent could have to give a 10% discount. If it's more than 10%, if it's more than 10% but less than 20%, then you get one level approver. But if it's more than that, it gets three levels. So those are practical use cases for those approval steps. Thanks, Pam.
Yep. So we can create those here. So I already created one. Then just click go. So for example, this is the first level of approval, the manager of MVIN. Then if we want to set up, for example, levels, we can add criterias. So here this will just it will enter this step if, for example, the amount is 50,000. So else, if not, automatically approve the record or automatically reject the record. So if in that way we can select specific records that only meet the criteria. So yeah, I think that's it for the for our discussion. So today we've finished the accounts and contact management and the opportunity management and the workflows and approvals. So I guess we can discuss next week with Nicole the mobile files sync and share, as well as the reports and dashboards and the sales forecasting and pipeline. So if yeah, if you have any question, just send us an email, or and if you missed the first parts of this webinar, you can search for it on our YouTube. You just need to search for AF Digital, and all the AF Digital webinars will be available there. So thank you guys for attending, and hope to see you on our next webinar series. Thank you. Bye.